Hi, my name is Aaron. This is Akira, and this is Nala. These guys will come to me in the Philippines when I'm ready. I want to talk to you about buying your land. I made a similar video to this about 2 weeks ago, and I did on a lease now, buy later option, and I did get offers, but and the offers were quite reasonable. Lease to payments, you're crazy, man. You got no idea how it works. So I'm here to tell you what I'm willing to pay. Okay. I want to talk to you about lease now, buy later, and I want to talk to you about vendor finance. Okay. Now I am in Australia. I lived in the Philippines for nearly 15 years. I've done business in the Philippines for 15 years. I understand your culture. I understand your corruption. I understand all the bullshit. The thing that makes me different to most foreigners, I'm a foreigner. I can't own land. I have dual citizen children that live with me in Australia, and they're about to turn 18. Okay, so I just want to get out of this country. Now, I made a video about a lease now, buy lease for 10 years, buy now, and I did get a few offers. And the cost of the land, it was quite interesting. It wasn't overly floated. Problem is the lease amounts. Crazy. There was 6 million peso properties. You wanted 80,000 peso a month for it. There was 10 million peso properties. You wanted 150,000 peso a month for it. It can't be done. That's just doesn't work like that. I understand the Philippines. I understand that. Look, I'm not talking down to anyone, but I am saying the math just isn't there. So I'm here to tell you the math. The math is 7%. Whatever your land is. So lease now buy means I lease it for 10 years. And I buy it within that 10 years. And that's in a contract. That's in a contract that I have to oblige. I might buy it in 2 years. I might buy it in 5 years. But I am obligated to be there for 10 years at the minimum, or buy it or walk away. I'm also going to talk something about a vendor finance, which means I can pay it off during that same time frame. Now, basically, I need 4.5 hours from Hanoi Airport. I do not want to jump on a ferry. I'm not jumping on a second flight. I'm not going to an island. I am getting off the plane. I'm getting in a car, and I'm going to drive to your property, and I'm going to get out on your property within 4.5 hours. That is a must do. There is no negotiation on that. So stop coming at with me, Palawan and Cebu and all this other stupid ass shit. I have zero interest. Now, I am aware nothing sells in the Philippines. Your real estate agents are lying to you. They haven't sold anything in a year, man. It's just how they operate, you know. They're not on salaries or anything like that. A shout out on Facebook ain't doing anyone any favors. I have my own Facebook groups that deal in real estate, and I have about 50 that I've collected over the last 3 years. None of them have sold. Not one of them, I think, that I've been watching has sold. So this is my offer. I can't buy your land for 2 years. I want to lease it, and it needs to be 7%. I'm hoping your land is not income producing right now. It means that it's just sitting there and costing you money to own it. I want to come in. It needs to be 1,000 square meters, needs to be titled, or tax deck, or this DCNR, alien certificate stuff looks interesting. I will look at that sort of stuff because I've worked out how to get that title, but I need to talk to a couple other people. The lease to buy, whatever the price of your land is, it's 7%. That is the number, okay? Get a pen and paper. So if you want to sell me something for 5 million peso, the lease amount is 350,000 peso a year, and then you divide that by 12, and that's my monthly payment. If you want to sell me a 10 million peso property, beachfront property, it's 7% is 700,000 a year. If you want to sell me a 15 million peso property, which is a bit high, but it has to be pretty spectacular for that, at least big titled and big square meters. Your amount is 1,050,000 a year, and you divide that by 12, and that's what I'm obligated to pay. Some of it's coming at 15, 20, 30%. Crazy numbers, man. Mate, you can't come to me with, you got to come to me as market value and not inflate your prices. And 7%. If it's not 7%, I virtually have no interest. Now, if you're not earning money in your land, 350,000 a year, that's not a mess around amount, man. You know, 700,000 a year, that's over 10 years, that's 7 million peso, for God's sake. You know, you got to really think about what you're trying to offer here. You think a couple of million peso isn't going to help your life immediately? Inflation's killing you. It's killing me. I pay that in rent every bloody month in Australia, mate. Why would I want to pay rent here when I can come over and just pay you? So lease to buy, whatever the land price is, 7% of that is what I'm happy to pay, all right? Now, the current mortgage rates are about, 5.5%? So you're 1.5% above mortgage rates, all right, for a vendor, for your lease payment. You will, and I get to come in and I contract that up and we both sign it and I can do whatever I want and I will turn your non-income producing land into something that I can retire on and build a resort and fly my people over and wait for my kids to grow of age and buy it within that 10 years. However, the goal is vendor finance. I do not want to buy it in 10 years. I just want the contract to be 10 years for the lease. I will buy it within that time. Vendor finance, listen to me. Let's say you give me we'll go 5 million peso. Let's say it's 350,000 a year lease payment and we both agreed on that. I could generally give you an extra million peso a year on top of that, 1,350,000 peso, and I'd own your land within 5 years, all right? So I could pay it off while I'm there. You get your 350, that 350,000 peso will reduce as I pay more and more land. It's a reducing balance, and that will be in the contract, okay? But I could pay extra money anytime I want and start paying off your land. That can be in the contract as well. So I can pay it off early, I can pay it when my kids turn 18, and I can do what I need to do. I have no interest in being in Australia. I have interest. Some of you come to me with 6 million peso property, 80,000 a month for a non-income producing block of dirt. Waste of time, man. It's ridiculous. All right, 10 million peso property, 700. They want 150,000 peso a month for it. It's insane. It's insane. If that thing is not costing you anything, you got to give it to me for 7% so I can do something with it, so I can put money in your pocket. You are just pushing me and my money away. All right, now guys, I'm going to run through this one more time. We're at 7 minutes. I want beachfront land within 4.5 hours drive from Ninoy Airport. It must be able to be driven to it. There is no second plane. There is no second ferry. There is no island. I don't want to hear it. Real estate agents, stop throwing me rubbish. 4.5 hour drive to the property. It has to be a nice-ish beach. I know, and I've lived there for 15 years. I've collected over 50 properties that are ready to buy. No one sold any. Real estates aren't selling your property, man. I know it. And if you think they are, you're kidding yourself, okay? So, 10-year lease. You charge me 7% of the agreed purchase price. So come to me with the price, and then we talk about a 7-year, and you charge me 7%, and I just pay you that every month. I'll probably pay a year up front because I don't want to rip anyone off. But in vendor finance, you will allow me to start paying it off anytime I want and get a reducing balance. So during that 10 years or 2 years or 5 years or however long I want, I will just start putting money on top of that and draw the thing down. And that'll be a part of the contract. You can't kick me off that land unless I don't pay. And I can't leave that land without paying you, all right? That's a contract deal, all right? Lease now, 10-year lease. How much do you want for your property? Charge me 7% a year. Lease now, vendor finance, same deal. It's a 10-year lease, but I can pay above that and start drawing down the balance, and my lease amounts will drop at the same time, all right? So please take this video to your owners. Non-income producing land, I couldn't think of anything worse. Having a major asset, just income, giving nothing. Take my money, man. Let me get out of Australia. I own restaurants over. I'm going to bring my food over. I'm going to build a little Kubu resort over there. I'll be flying Australian customers over there. I will have a second video letting you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a I'm not hiding it. I'm going to give you a second video on what I'm going to do with your land. And there'll be also be an area there of long leases to foreigners. Foreigners, you want to be my friend on this one, man, because this is all about you guys. Australia, you'll be flown over, all you can eat, all you can drink, pretty girls, pretty girls, no touching, it's not that type of place, but just you'll be having Australian food and unlimited alcohol and all that sort of stuff. It's all a part of the package plans. And there'll be a separate area of land where I can lease to foreigners on a long-term lease, and so you can retire. So my customers come over from Australia, they party for a little bit, and then they decide, fuck Australia, I'm staying here, and then they rent a separate area at the back there, and they pay monthly fee, and I'll help them get their visas. I've already had meetings with SSRV people and all that stuff, so I'm pretty organised. Okay, Landowners, no nonsense. You're not selling your land. Get a price to me that's market value. 7% a year is what you got to charge me. And then, mate, if that beach is nice at the front, I'll have it signed up in 3 months, man. I need to get out of here. Okay, guys, we're at 10 minutes on the dot right now. Thanks for listening, and I will hopefully buy your place and lease your place very, very soon. Enjoy.